Hey there mobile gamers, how's it going? This is Gaming at Max here, back with another top mobile games list video, and this time I'm gonna present to you top games that are similar to World of Warcraft or World of Warcraft ripoffs. And while I do have my personal thoughts on which one is the best among the games on this list, I decided not to put the ranking in particular order because we all have different preferences. I will still use numbers though, just to kind of keep track of the sequence of this list, but you can pick and choose whichever game you think is more entertaining for you. If you're new to the channel, by the way, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon down there, as I upload all kinds of mobile games on this channel which you probably don't want to miss out. Starting from number 10, we have Arcane Legends. Arcane Legends is a free-to-play hack-and-slash multiplayer cross-platform mobile game originally launched in 2012 by Spacetime Studios. They launched it for Microsoft Windows, iOS, Android, and Google Chrome. And just like World of Warcraft, this game is an MMORPG with a vivid graphics, smooth animation, and plenty of small visual details that pull it all together. The game opens with goblins running rampant, burning villages, terrorizing innocents, and getting up to all the usual sorts of nastiness for whatever reasons. And you basically begin by choosing one of the three classes, which is the usual mix of warrior, rogue, and mage, and then you will be asked to pick a pet, which will assist you in battle and help collect treasures. The free-to-play aspect seems reasonably balanced and switches instantly and flawlessly between platforms. This game is overall great, and it has a trading feature which a lot of MMO players are looking for. Moving on to number 9. We have Celtic Heroes. Celtic Heroes is a mobile 3D MMORPG where players pick one of 5 classes to play. They have Droid, Mage, Ranger, Rogue, or Warrior to take on the dark forces that threaten the realm of Dalriada. This game features challenging group dungeons, PvP combat, clans, and tons of equipment and items. I'd say it's fairly standard for the genre, but it offers some flexibility due to the ability to allocate stats and purchase skills that are not class locked. There really isn't much you can find interesting in this game, but hey, if you're looking for an MMO to play, if you're bored and haven't tried this game yet, then why not check it out? Number 8. Dragon Revolt. Dragon Revolt is another fantasy mobile MMORPG which obviously is inspired by World of Warcraft. I'm not even sure if inspired is the right word to put it, or it's just a plain blatant ripoff of World of Warcraft. Anyway, the game is set in colorful universe played by evil where you choose to be in one of the 2 factions just like in WoW. In the game, you will need to choose to be either with Lothland Empire faction or Ashtar Alliance. The game also features Holy Trinity where you choose to be either a warrior, mage, or cleric, each fitting a necessary role in party play. Talking about my experience playing it, it was definitely horrible. I wasn't even able to reach a higher level due to the game being so unoptimized and doesn't even support 60 FPS. Well, it's an old game released back in 2017, so what can I really expect? But if you are someone who is curious to see what the game looks like personally, then feel free to check it out. Number 7. Villagers and Heroes. Villagers and Heroes is also a cross-platform game available on mobile and PC. In this game, players build community villages and master different gathering and crafting abilities. You play who you want, you customize your character's backstory, appearance, and personality. You can also create your own village and become its mayor. One thing I dislike about this game though is the lack of PvP. If you're an MMO player who likes PK or fighting someone else, then this game will definitely drive you off. Overall, Villagers and Heroes is a simple MMO with traditional mechanics and standard and with a cartoonish style. Everything you can do in this game feels quite outdated and basic, and the lack of PvP can drive some of you away. But hey, this game is meant to be very casual and there are still a lot of players who play it due to its simplicity. If you're a type of person who likes to play casual role-playing game, then this game is definitely a must-try. Number 6. AdventureQuest 3D. AdventureQuest 3D is an MMORPG that was released back in October of 2016. It was created by Artix Entertainment, the same company that created AdventureQuest, AdventureQuest Worlds, and Dragon Fable. If you played Dragon Quest or Dragon Fable browser games over a decade ago, then you might be familiar with Arctic's entertainment. The graphics in AdventureQuest 3D are pretty much simple. They work well for the game, the world is colorful, and there are many different areas to explore. The characters are cartoony looking, just like anime-inspired games with big eyes and spiky hair. The armor and weapons are also oversized and spiky, clearly inspired by games such as World of Warcraft. AdventureQuest 3D does have some drawbacks, however. The biggest one is that it is not a very deep game. There's not much in terms of character customization or player choice. The quests are all very linear and there's not much room for exploration. But overall, AdventureQuest 3D is a fun game that is worth playing. It's perfect for younger players or for people who want casual and straightforward MMORPG experience. The community is great and the developers are always adding new content despite of the game being more than half a decade old. If you're looking for a deep and complex game, then AdventureQuest 3D might not be for you. But if you're a casual gamer who likes to hang out with friends, help newbies, and meet new people, then I'm sure you'll like this one. Number 5. Era of Legends. As you can see just by looking at it, the game automatically slaps a World of Warcraft vibe right in your face as soon as you see the character selection page. In this game, you will choose one of the 8 different classes. You have 12 archetypes that represent the staple fantasy classes, which is Warrior, Shaman, Mage, Priest, Assassin, Witch, Archer, Druid, Paladin, Dark Knight, Forest Child, and Demon Hunter. When starting your adventure in Era of Legends, you're only allowed to create one of the first 8 classes, which is the Warrior to Druid. The rest will then be unlocked when you reach level 40. If I talk a bit about my experience as a whole, I for one does not really, take autoplay that seriously when it comes to mobile games. However, it still destroys the leveling up experience. Fortunately, in this game, autoplay is off bounds when it comes to dungeons, forcing you to play the game and act as a proper team player, and force you to use skills, pets, and familiars in battle. If you have played World of Warcraft or any other MMORPGs during the last decade, you would definitely know what to expect. Overall, Era of Legends feels like a blatant copy of World of Warcraft, but in its favor, it works every bit as you would expect it to. I know auto-path and auto-combat may be a huge disappointment for MMORPGs, but if you get past that, I know you can enjoy what else there is the game has to offer. Moving on to number 4. We have Order and Chaos 2 Redemption.
And now in his name, we wield his hammer, and with it, we will shatter the primal heart and destroy the abominations that threaten our world once and for all. Knights, charge!
This game is a continuation to its predecessor, Order and Chaos Online. The game's storyline basically starts with the destruction of an ancient artifact called Primal Heart, which ended up causing an unexpected cataclysmic event that caused unbelievable damage to everything in this game's world called Haradon. When starting the game, you will choose to be a human, elf, orc, Mendo, or Kraton. When it comes to appearance customization, there actually isn't much here, but when it comes to classes and races, the game does very well. Classes are not race-locked, and races are not gender-locked. Gameplay-wise, Order and Chaos 2 is a great and quite addictive MMORPG. I personally even invested so much time in this game back in its glory days. Unfortunately, Gameloft, its developer, got sold to another company, and then the game started to go down the wrong path, which eventually led to its destruction. I personally would recommend this game if it only didn't get abandoned by its own maker. Number 3. World of Kings. World of Kings is a mobile MMORPG apparently inspired by World of Warcraft. The game is set in a fantasy world of Ideon and features a persistent open world, numerous PvP options, dungeons, and a lot more. It's a free-to-play mobile MMORPG for both Android and iOS, developed and published by the Chinese gaming studio Zilong. The game offers an impressive variety of playable races and classes, with each class having 3 job advancements upon reaching level 40, basically for a total of 27 classes. As you can see, the game's visuals are heavily inspired by World of Warcraft. But yes, this game also has autoplay function, and autoplay mobile MMORPGs either please or horrify you depending on your feelings towards the genre. But while autoplay elements play a huge role early on, later in the game, more difficult dungeons require an attentive player base. The core gameplay feels a lot like World of Warcraft except with autoplay elements. The gameplay loop revolves around completing daily tasks just like your typical classic MMORPGs. There are 5 races to play as, and a handful of classes to take the role of. Number 2. Order and Chaos Online. Order and Chaos Online is a fantasy MMORPG developed by Gameloft's Beijing studio for Microsoft Windows, Windows Phone, iOS, and Android devices. This game was one of the first MMORPG on mobile ever created. The amount of active players during its glory days was absolutely insane that Gameloft had to separate the servers for iOS, Android, and Windows. Or so they said. And as far as I know, this game was the first World of Warcraft-like MMORPG ever made for mobile, which was also the reason why this game had tremendous amount of players back then. The game offers 5 non-gender locked classes to choose from, and just like its successor, Order and Chaos 2 Redemption, Gameloft also abandoned this game, leaving it with nothing but only purchasable currencies in the game store, with no new contents. This game actually still has an active community up to these days, so if you are thinking of hopping in, the game is just an App Store away. Down to number 1, we have Crusaders of Light. Now, I just want to let you know that the game officially shut down on November 17th of 2021. NetEase, its developer and publisher, announced on October 13th of 2021 that Crusaders of Light had been removed from digital stores on Steam, Android, and iOS, and that the game would be shut down 1 month later on November 17th. They announced it along with a message of appreciation to everyone who supported and played the game for years. I know it sucks that this game could no longer be played, but it still deserves a spot on this list nonetheless. Crusaders of Light is a WoW-like cross-platform MMORPG available on mobile, tablet, and PC. It's an MMO where you adventure together with friends in real time to defeat epic bosses and unlock legendary gears. In a lot of ways, Crusaders of Light feels like a single-player RPG, but with an MMO trappings such as, PvP, dungeons, and raids added on. You share the world with everyone and do some grinding and group contents with your friends. The raid mechanics in this game was the best that I had ever experienced on mobile MMO. Team and guild raids actually require strategies and extreme cooperation in order to complete. I also invested hundreds of playtime in this game back in its heydays, but personally, the reason why me and my guild stopped playing this game was because of the series of bugs that happened then that pretty much killed the game. One example was the gem bug. I haven't heard about the game since then until NetEase announced its shutdown schedule, but overall, the game provided great MMO experience to players back then, and for that, Crusaders of Light deserves a spot on this list. So that pretty much wraps it up for today's list of top mobile MMORPG games that are similar to World of Warcraft, and I really hope you enjoyed the video and considered smashing that sweet little like and subscribe button down there, as well as the notification icon to get notified whenever I upload new videos in the future. I'll be sure to upload more videos like this very soon, but until then, you guys take care and I'll see you in the next one.